Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be solving another murder mystery. Now, if there was ever a puzzle that was designed for this channel, this has got to be it. I'm just going to read the first couple of lines for you from the rule sets, but it sets the stage for the thumbnail, it sets the stage for why I'm making that statement. So, Sherdoku Holmes, we need you again. A new numeral killer is on the loose, and we need your help to solve who the killer is. Blah, 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 blah. One digit in each was murdered and will not fit. The victims vary and can even be the same value as the killer. Box 1, the library. Box 3, the pool room. Now, it's a proper murder mystery. Which is why, of course, Sleuth had to grow, that pencil mustache. He's gathered all of the possible killers and suspects in the library to, I guess, interview them and figure out who the killer is. I'll be honest with you, I'm not entirely clear about the rules, so we're going through this together. This is the first time I've come across this type of puzzle. Maybe I should have done a bit more homework and actually kind of read what else the Bard has created, the constructor of this particular puzzle, because the implication is, from the way that he's posted it, another murder mystery, is that it must have been a previous murder mystery. And I've just, yeah, it does say the sequel to murder mystery, which you can find here with this type of rule set. So maybe if this is excellent, I will go ahead and feature this particular other puzzle as well. One thing about this is a 1-star difficulty rated. The previous one is 2 stars. So I'm skeptical, given I can't quite make head or tails of the rules, that this is 1 star, but we're going to give it a go anyway. Long intro. Let's just take a look at the puzzle and the rule sets. Let's do that. So first off, apologies for the tiny, tiny font. As always, the full rule set and description is down below, as well as a link to play along where you can take a look at the rule sets and scroll through it just fine on your own. Rules. So, Sherdoku Holmes, we need you again. A new numeral killer is on the loose, and we need your help to solve who the killer is. Now, place all the digits 0 to 9 in each row, column, and box. But one digit in each was murdered and will not fit. The victims vary and can even be the same value as the killer. So the way I'm interpreting this is essentially in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box, although there are 9 cells in them, we actually have up to 10 digits we can place. 0, and then the normal 1 to 9. Now, clearly because we're trying to place 10 digits in 9 cells, one of them is not going to fit, and whichever one is the missing one is essentially the victim. The victims are not necessarily consistent. So the missing digit in one row or the missing digit in one box doesn't necessarily mean it's the same missing digit in the next column. Okay. All right, let's continue with this story. There's a lot of lore to this particular puzzle. I love it. So box 1, the library, German whispers. So adjacent digits must be at least 5 apart. So if you imagine that this cell here is a 2, all of these would have to be 6, 7, no, not 6, 7, 8, or 9 to be 5 or more apart. One very tricky thing about this German whisper I should point out, I'm noticing, is that I actually can have a 5 because I could have a 0 in here. So don't make the assumption that there are no 5s on these German whisper lines. Then we have box 3, the pool room. Quadruples, so digits in the small circles must appear in one of the surrounding cells. So 1 has to be in this 4 cells, 2 has to be in one of these cells, 5 and 7 has to be in 2 of these 4 cells. Box 5, the games room. So the games room arrows and digits along the arrow must add up to the digit in the attached circle. So if this cell here was a 2 and this was a 3, this would have to be a 5. Essentially, whatever these 2 cells add up to, they will show up the sum in here. These 3 cells show up to a sum that would be in this circle. Box 7, the office. So XV digits separated by an X must sum up to 10. So if that's a 2, this would have to be an 8 to sum up to 10. A V, again, just watch out for the 5s and 0s. It doesn't necessarily have to be 2, 3, and 1, 4. 5s and 0s are indeed allowed. Then box 9, the gym, which are rembands. Digits along the purple lines are consecutive in some order. If this is 1, normally I would say this would have to be 2, 3, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in order, so this would actually work. But that's not true anymore. I could have 0 and 2. What I couldn't do is 0 and 3, they're no longer consecutive. Then we have hallways. So we've talked about 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, these boxes. 2, 4, 6, and 8 are hallways connecting these rooms. They have odd / even and palindrome rules, so digits in circles must be odd. So these 4 cells must be from 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Digits in a box must be even, and this does include at 0, so 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Then we have the palindrome. So the digits along the grey line read the same forwards and backwards. If that was a 1, this would be a 1. If that was a 2, this would be 2, so that you can read it the same forwards and backwards. And very explicitly, the bard is saying, for this puzzle, 0 is considered even. Last but not least, we've got... No, that's not even last. There is one more kind of clue given. I admit I read it several times. I can't quite get it. I think I get it. I don't quite get it. Secret passages. Little killers, so digits along the indicated diagonal add up to the value provided. So all of these cells, 9 of them, must sum up to 9. Make of that what you will. And all of these 9 cells must sum up to 67. That's another thing to keep in mind, these secret passageways. Lastly, as before, you will find one last cell where the killer takes his last victim. Know this, the killer left a note saying there is nothing to be added to my life, therefore I kill those who can take from me. Now I'm kind of wondering, I've read this so many times and I still don't quite understand. Is that part of the solution? Is that meant to tell us who the killer is? I read that and I think the killer is number 9 because there's nothing that can be added to it and takes away and kills those who can take away from them. I don't get it. Anyhow, as always, link will be in the description down below as usual for you to play along. Please do help Sleuth solve this murder mystery, or I should say another murder mystery. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock, see how I get on. Right. So I'm going to start with the little killer clues, because 9 across this gigantic diagonal, I really can only think of one way of doing that, which is 0, 1, 2. Reason for that is clearly I need to average as low as 3 across each of these boxes to add up to 9. And they are unique digits. I'm not repeating digits in here. So it's kind of Sudoku, not quite. So the only way I can do this is 0, 1, 2. That's forced. Pretty sure I can't have a 0 on this arrow, because that would essentially say, if that was a 0, hang on. Let me get rid of, check pencil marks. If that was a 0, whatever this digit is, I'd have to repeat it, which I'm pretty sure is not allowed. So that is not 0. Sorry, I'm stuck. This is obvious. This was obvious a while ago. This has to be a 2. The reason for that is if it was a 1, well, the next digit along would have to be 2 or 3. Can't be. So that has to be a 2. These are not 2s. This has to be unique, 3 and 4, 3 and 4. Yeah, that's all good. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are gone. 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. There has to be a 7 in here. This 2 tells me there has to be a 2 in one of these cells. 2, 3, 4 looking across to this box. I don't think I can make a V anymore with anything other than 5 and 0. I mean, in general, this box, when I first saw it, I thought, wow, this is tricky. You've used 1, 2, 3, and 4. how am I going to get to 10? And the short answer is, of course, one of these is 0, 5, so that you can leave one of the 2s, 3s, or 1s, 4s in here to actually add up to 10. And because this is not 2, 3, or a 4, therefore not 1, 4, this is 5, 0. Then this one is either 1, 4, and then there's essentially 2, 3. Oh, yeah. Now I've got it. Right, I didn't pay attention to the other diagonal. This diagonal, which includes a 0, 1, 2. Pretty sure it's a 2, but let me explain why. So the maximum I can make this diagonal is 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. That's already 48. Now, I can't make this cell a 7, 8, 9, but I can maximize this with 8 and 9, and a 2. So let's do some quick maths. 48, 2 is 50, 8 and 9 is 17. That's 67. That is actually absolutely forced. That's 2, that's 1, that's 0. These are, and of course, because of this quadruple, this has to be the 7, this is a 2, this is an 8, 9 pair, and this is 7, 8, and 9. 7, 8, and 9 is helpful because it forces these to add up to 10 to be 1, 2, 3. I need 2 low digits that add up to 5. If I use 2, 3, that would leave me a double 1. So this is 1, 4. These are not 1s. Therefore, these are not 9s. They are 7, 8s. To make that add up to 10. And this is a 9. And we actually know our first victim, a 6 in this box. That's the missing digit. Lovely. Fairly sure that's the 8, because if that's the 9, that would have to be 8, and I would break this cell. So that's a 7, that's an 8, that's a 9. Need 2 cells that add up to 7 plus the 2 to make up a 9. 0 and 7 are not available. 1, 6 is not available. 2, 5 is not available. I'm pretty sure this is 4, so 3, 4, and that this is 5 or 6. Remember, the victims could vary, so this is not necessarily a 5 to match the missing 6 in here. 2, 7, 8, and 9. This has to be a 1 to make sure this quadruple doesn't break. There's a 5 in here. Feels like as far as I can take at this point. Okay, I've kind of ignored these German whisper lines. Now, what I really wanted, so before I sort of thought about these diagonals and spotted all of this, I was kind of trying to think about this before I got distracted. So I don't think I can put 5s in here. Because a 5, the only digit that is 5 or more away from it is a 0. So if I put a 5 in here, that would require a double 0. So these have to be from 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 6, 7, 8, 9. And therefore, these have to be low digits. But the low digits are actually quite high because I've already placed 0, 1, and 2. So these two have to be from 3, 4, I'm fairly sure. Yeah, and therefore these have to be 8 and 9. Whichever one is the 4 would be accompanied with a 9. Whichever one is the 3 would be accompanied with an 8. And then 0, 1, and 2. This leaves 5, 6, 7. And because this cell here could be a 0, I could get away with anything in there. This one is not a 7. Okay. This is getting very tricky. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not even giving me a quadruple in here. You see, normal Sudoku rules are not working. I can't look at this, for example, and say, oh, yeah, it's missing this digit, therefore I can write it in. Because every row, every column, every box has to be missing a digit. So this is going to be tricky. I'm starting to really disagree with the rating of this puzzle. So we've looked at this box. We've looked at all the rooms. I haven't really looked at any of the corridors. I'm kind of wondering if that's next. Maybe. Or do some Sudoku in the meantime. 9 gives me an 8, gives me a 9, gives me an 8. How about some of that? That gives me a 9, that gives me a 4, that gives me a 3. That 4 gives me a 1, gives me a 4. Lovely. That 8 doesn't help. 3 does help. That's a 2. That's an 8. That's a 3. That's a 7. That 2 is not here. That 1 is not there. And as far as I could take it for the moment. Yeah, not too sure. What is this cell? It's not 1, 3, 7, or 9. I'm pretty sure that's 4, so that's got to be a 5, which gives me a 6 in here. Pretty good. And then these cells are, well, I've done all the odd digits, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So these are all even digits, and they can be anything other than the 4. So 0, 2, 6, 8. Not 2 or 4 in here. Not 8 in there. Challenge is, I don't know which one is the missing digit from 0, 2, 6, and 8 in this column. Okay. This cell maybe 5, 9, 3. This is 1 or 7. Not enough. Again, this is not 2 or 4, which means this is 0, 6, 8. Yeah, almost a triple. Almost. Not quite. This one, 1, 3, 9, means this is 5 or 7. It's not a 5. I have to have a 5 in here. That's just a 7. That's helpful. This is not 8. It's not 8. It's anything else. Not helpful. 1, 7, 9 means this is 3 or 5. Yeah, this is tricky. So this could be 0, 2, 4, 6. Not very good. Am I going to have to look at this palindrome next, maybe? The other thing that's sort of occurring to me, and I'm really not liking the idea, I'm just saying that up front, I'm declaring it up front, is essentially doing like pseudo Sudoku. Because, let me just explain what I mean. I know 2, 3, oh, hang on, this is not an 8. I know that there is a missing digit, but that shouldn't really stop me. Definitely shouldn't stop me from looking at things like triplets, like 0, 5, 6 here, which gives me a 1. 0, 5, 6. So essentially I've got 0, 1, 2, 3. I've got a 1, sorry, that gives me a 7. 1, 3. So I'm missing 4 and 9. So the missing digit in here, in this, no, it doesn't have to be in the box, just this column is 4 or 9. This is very tricky. I don't know how to disambiguate it for the column. Not sure how to solve the 0, 2. Okay. We're in for quite the journey here. And, you know, I can't do normal Sudoku things like 7s, 7, you know, eliminates all of these cells, puts a 7 in here. That couldn't be a 7 because that would be a 7 which conflicts, and then it forces a 7 in here. That would be lovely things to do, but I can't do that. Because it can be the missing digit in that column, row, box. Right, so we've got 0, 2, 3, 4, and 7. This is 1, 6, 8, and 9. Not 1 or 9. Not 6. Not 8. This is not very helpful. Okay, I haven't really used the palindrome yet, so I am going to try and use it. So what can this cell be? It can be 0, it can be 1, can't be 2, can't be 3, can't be 4, could be 5. Don't see a problem with 5, not 6, not 7, and can be 8. There's a lot of options still. This cell is not, yeah, it's not 0, it's not 1. It looks like it can be 2. It can be 3, it's not 4. It's not 5, it's not 6, 7, 8, or 9. So this is a lot more restricted. This could be useful. Sorry, I'm just looking around to see if I'm missing something, and I don't think I am. I mean, clearly I am, otherwise, you know, I'll be solving it right now, but tough. So I think we need to think maybe a bit harder about this palindrome. No 9, no 9. I could still have 9, 8, 7. Let me just think about options for a second. I can do extremes, that's the challenge. This 8 means no 8s. This is no longer a 7 because of this 7. So 8, 7, 6 would be forced that way if it's 6, 7, 8. Now if it's 5, 6, 7, I seem to have a lot more options. I basically could have 5 and 6 anywhere. It's not very helpful. This is not 5, 6, 7. No, the 8 could be missing. I was going to say, because this is not 8, the 8 has to be on here. But no, I could have 9, 5, 6, 7, and be totally content. No, I can't have 9. Right, I can't have 8 or 9. So because I can't have 8 or 9, I'm pretty sure this cannot be 5, 6, 7. So let me just remove that for a second and think that through. If that was 5, 6, 7, this would have to be 8 or 9, and it's neither. So this is not 5, 6, 7. This is either 6, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9. And the interesting thing is 6, 7, 8 or 7, 8, 9. Therefore, there's always a 7, there's always an 8. That 8 removes all of these as 8. That forces an 8 in here. That 7 tells me that's the 7, and then this is 6, 9. Right. And therefore, this is 5, 6, 9. Presumably. Not 9. 5 or 6. Sort of helpful. Take whatever you can, really. I mean, is helpful. But that 1 was resolved. So that's 0, that's 1. That neither of these now are 1s. This is 0, 5, 8. It's not 8 anymore either. That's 0, 5. Right, the palindrome is starting to get interesting now. Again, kind of. Sort of interesting. Can I determine which is the missing digit from 5, 6, 9? Not really. The 7, 8 has actually given me anything else. So if there is a 7 in this box, it's in here. If there's an 8 in this box, it's in there. Kind of wondering if I should finish pencil marking this run in here. So what are the remaining digits? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8. So let me just do that. 1, 2, 3, and 8. This is not 8. This is not 8. This is not 1 or 2. This can be 1, 2, 3. This is 2, 3. This is 3, 8. And this can still... Oh, it's not 2 either. So... So what I'm looking at in here is, it's very easy for... Sorry, I'm missing another digit, 4. Not here, not there, because of this 4, but these two could be 4. I was trying to figure out if I can see the missing digit, but I can't. Still tricky. Odd, even, odd, even. This is not the play. Sorry, taking some caffeine. I think I need it. Right, if there is 7, 9 in this row, they're in here. Oh, this is not 7 or 9. And it can't be here because of these 7 9s. So in this row, the missing digit is 7 or 9. And I can only have one of them in here, in this cell. Because I can't have it here, and I can't have it here. Which tells me the rest of this row, I need to have all the other digits. Including 8. Not 8. Not 8, not 8, not 8, not 8. Not 8 because of that, and not 8. That's 8. This feels like gymnastics now to try and actually get anything, and that doesn't feel right. This is 0, 5, 6, or 1. Am I really going to pencil mark all of that? Clutching at straws. The missing digit in this box is 4, 9. 4 and 9, again, can't be here. Only place for 4 and 9 is this cell, and there's only one of them. So I need to have all the remaining digits in this box. So that means there's definitely a 1 somewhere in here, specifically in these two cells. I need to have a 3, which because of these 3s tells me is definitely amongst these cells. The 2, unfortunately, could be in here, could be in there, so not quite. 4, 5, 6. I could still have 6 in here. Too many places. 7, 8, and then back to the 9. So 1 and 3. So I kind of need to figure out what is the other digit that's in the middle. Because essentially I've got 0, 2, 6 outside it. This is not a 3. We said something about 7, 9, and that these are from 0, 5, 1, 6, 0, 5, 1, 6. And that all of them have to show up. This is not a 5. It could be 0, 1, 6. There's still a lot of options. And again, I could have a 2 in here. I can't seem to force any of these. Not brilliant. One thing I should do is maybe keep track of the digits that are missing. One of 5, 6, 7. So because this is the missing digit, it's 4 or 9, and it will be 4 or 9 in the column and 4 or 9 in the row. So presumably that can't be the missing digit. Yeah, because that is a triplet. Yeah, it's just, you can't really, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this being, this can't be the missing digit. But this can be. But unfortunately it says it could be any of 5, 6, or 7, but it also means there are no other missing digits in here. The missing digit is from 5, 6, or 7 in this column. And you see, it doesn't really work because it's missing. You can't label it. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Because, you know, what would be the missing digit in here? Well, if you use the same logic, it's not in the same box. It's not 0, 2. So the other missing digit would have to be in the column. And it's from 0, 2, or 6. And it would be this one, which is in the same row and the same box. So this is madness. This is not the way to try and solve it. Maybe it is, as long as I don't kind of use it as Sudoku. It's just a way of me remembering what's the missing digit. It kind of works. You see, in this column, this can't be 7, 9, and therefore there's no other place for 7 or 9 in the column. So that missing digit is missing in the box, missing in the row. That's how we identified it. This is 7 or 9, and there's no other place for it. Doesn't necessarily mean it's missing in the box. It is missing in the column, though. So because the 7 or 9 is the one that's missing, it means that I need to have, this is not a 0, I need to have all the other digits present. And the missing and the remaining digits, other than 7 or 9, I've got 0, 1, 2 has to be one of these two cells. 3, I mean, no, that's not a 3. 4 could be in here. 5 could be there. 6 could be here, there, and there. So, I mean, I can pencil mark this, knowing it's not 0, 1, 2, and not 3. It can be 4, it could be 5, and it could be 6, but not 7, 8, or 9. Does that give me anything? 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. No. 2. No. It's not even giving me a triplet or a pair or anything. Okay. Again, the rest of this box has to have all the other digits. 1s are not here. 1s are definitely in one of these two cells. 2 we've already established. No 3s here. But 3 can still be in a lot of places. 4 could be in a bunch of places. 5 is feeling tricky. Actually, where can 0? No, plenty of places for 0. 5, again, plenty of places. 6, plenty of places. 8, I need an 8, which means none of these are 8, none of these are 8. This is the only place for an 8. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I don't know if I'm doing this wrong, by the way. Or if there's a smarter way of doing what I'm trying to do here. There probably is. I'm sure there is a smarter way of doing this. And then 7 and 9, we don't know. I think I'm going to have to pencil mark these. This is, we said 0, 1, 5, or 6. And yes, too many options. Very tricky to spot triplets, quadruples in this chaos. Not helpful. Not helpful. So we only have 4 odds and 4 evens, plus whatever this 7, 9 is. Even, even. What are the other 2 evens? 2 we've already established is in here. 8 we've done. 4 and 6. Well, if it's not here, 4 is quite restricted. Sorry, I'm going way off now. This is a very tough puzzle. Definitely disagree with the rating. 0, 5, 0, 5. 2, 3, 2, 3. Let's try that again. So the only missing digit is 4 and 9. I need to have 0, 2, 3, 4. Hang on. 0, 2, 3, 4, 5? No, not 4. 0, 2, 3, 5, 6. Right. 0, 2, even digits, odd digits. Maybe I should be paying more attention to parity. 0, 2, 3, 5, 6. So I need 0, 2, and 6. Which means one more of these is even, and the other one is odd. I can't rule out 3 or 5 or 0, 2, and 6 from any of these. This is not the next step. 1 in here. This was a 6. This was a 7. Sleuth. That was a long time wasted. That was a lot of time wasted. 6 means 0. Gives me a 5, gives me a 5, gives me a 6, gives me a 9, gives me a 3. Let's just not mention it. I did something wrong there. Yeah, 0, 0 gone. That means that this is 1, 6, isn't it? Yeah, because the missing digit is 7 or 9. This 0 gave me a 5 and a 0. Gives me a 2 and a 0. This is the missing 1, 2, or 6 in this column at least. I can't miss, remember, 2 digits in the same box. And the missing one is 4, 9 because they're not here or there. So the 2 and 6 still have to be in here and in the row. This flurry of activity, that 5, that's not the 5, that's the 5. This is 2, 3, 4, and the 6 in here tells me that's not the 6. This is now a triplet of 2, 3, 4. I still need a 6 in this box. It's not forced quite yet. What is the rest of this column? Tricky part is it's not. So what is it potentially missing? What are these cells? No 3s in this box. I need to have all the remaining ones. 0 tells me that's the 0. The other digits are 4 and 6. Yeah. 4, 6. Just because of these 4 and 6. So that's 4, 6. Normally I would say this is 3, 4, or 6, but there's one more digit that's missing. We just write it in. So 4, 6 because it's not 3. And one more, 0. Yeah, I don't have a 0 anywhere in this column. And I actually can have a 0 in here. And I have to have a 0 in this box. I've already established the missing digit is the 7, 9. So that's a 0. Is this box? Yeah, that is not a 3. Therefore, this is a 2. This is a 2. That 2 gives me a 4, gives me a 1, gives me a 6, which gives me a 0, gives me a 4, gives me a 6. Gives me, I don't actually know what that is, 3 or 4, 3 or 4. This 4 gives me 3, gives me 4. Right, we're on a roll. I'm saying that in a very subdued voice for fear of breaking this flurry of productivity. We're missing one of 047 in here. Missing one of 1689 in here. This is 012. We need 3, 6, 5. No, 5's already in here. Hang on. Yeah, this row is just missing 5. And this is definitely 3, 6. That 6 gives me 3, gives me 6. No 6's in here, which gives me 8, 8, not 8. This is a 1, 9 pair. So the missing one in this box is one of 047. The row in here is 6. The row in here is 04 or 7. And the row in here is 5. 6 gave me a 1 ages ago and I just ignored. 2, 3. I think this has to be 2, 3 or 6. It's not a 3. It is 2, 6. That is a 3. That 2, gave me a lot of stuff earlier. 6, 3, 2. Missing a 6 in this one. That 4 gives me a 9. What am I missing in this row? 5. It's solving. Don't try and understand that for the moment, Sleuth. Just keep going. Finding a mistake if I've made any in any of this would be just impossible. This is 3, 5, 9, 3, 5, 6, 9. 3, 6, and 5 means this has to be the 9. Gives me a 1, gives me a 9. I'll take it. This is from 3, 5, and 6. And we're missing... There's no 6 in here. Don't know anything else. I'm going to remove these. This is just... I don't know how to resolve this one, by the way. Seems stuck, which might be all down to, as before, you'll find one last cell where the killer takes his last victim. Know this, the killer left a note saying there is nothing to be added to my life, therefore I kill those who can take from me. So notice that the 9 is never the missing digit. So I'm wondering if that's code for saying that this is 9. Don't know. 7 in here means not a 7. 0, 3, 4, 6. So this has to be from 0, 3, 4, 6. No, it doesn't. That only adds up to 4 of them. There could be a 5. This is not 4 or 6. This is 0, 3, 5. Rest of this row could be 0, 3, 5, and 8. 3, 5 means this is 0 or 8. 0 and 8 in here, this is 3, 5 or 6. Not 6, 3, 5. In here I am missing 0, 8, and no 0, 8. So this is the missing digit in this column. It's one of 0, 8, and this is whatever it is. I have to actually write it in 4. And then in here I am missing 1 and 2. Not a 2. 1. So that's missing a 2 from this row. Right. How do I solve this now? There's nothing to be added to my life, therefore I kill those who can take from me. The 0 so far is always present. So I'm wondering if that's code for there always has to be a 0. I'm so tempted to try this. So 0, 0. And it does say, I'm pretty sure, the victims vary, can even be the same value as the killer. So I don't know if this is a 9. Three, 4, 5, 6. Oh, not a 6, excuse me. 3, 4, 5. I've broken it. Yeah, I'm terrible at wordplay, so I'm not going to try that 0 trick again. I'm just going to remember the fact that this is a 6. I've done 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, can also be a 5, no? Yeah. Not a 6 because it's already in the column 6. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 3 or 5. Let me just double check that this is also 3, 5. So it's not 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 5 pair. I'm missing a 2, which is not here. That's fine. I'm going to try this. 6, 8. That 0 gave me a 4 down here, a 3, a 5, a 3, a 4, a 7. Guess 9. Wow. I like it, Mr. Bard. And I guess, you know, part of the charm of the puzzle is some of the cryptic statements where you have to guess. So yeah, it does say, as before, you will find one last cell where the killer takes his last victim. Know this, the killer left a note. So I guess it makes sense. But then I don't get this statement that says the victims vary, can even be the same value as the killer. So I'm not really sure I get that. But yeah, what a puzzle. At times, it was a bit of a clumsy solve, but I think essentially I've sort of went in here with the mindset that Sudoku doesn't work. As a result, you know, it took me a while. That one was embarrassing. Yeah. Really looking forward to reading your comments. Let's see what the feedback is like, and if you guys have enjoyed it, I will go back and feature the harder puzzle, potentially for the coming weekend. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.